For our entire lives, medicine has basically worked one way. You feel sick, you go to the doctor, and you get treated. Simple. But right now, there's a quiet, almost invisible revolution happening. It's completely flipping the script on healthcare, shifting it from fixing what's broken to making sure it never breaks in the first place. So let's dive in and see what that future actually looks like.
And this right here really gets to the heart of that revolution. On the left, that's the medicine we all know, reactive medicine. It's basically an emergency response system. But on the right, that's where we're headed, predictive medicine. Think of it like this. We're moving from being the firefighter who rushes to the blaze to being the fire inspector who spots the faulty wiring long before there's even a spark.
I just love this analogy because it makes the whole thing click, It just makes sense. We don't wait for a hurricane to be a few miles offshore before we start boarding up the windows. No way. We track it when it's just a swirl of clouds thousands of miles away. That is exactly what this new age of medicine wants to do for our health. To really appreciate just how big a deal this is, we got to take a quick look back at where we've been. For literally centuries, the playbook for medicine has been the same. Wait for a health crisis to hit and then react with everything we've got. This timeline really lays it all out. We started with just pure reaction. Then we got pretty good at managing ongoing diseases. But now we are right on the edge of something totally new. The power to actually predict and even prevent a disease before it ever gets a foothold. So what's making this massive leap possible all of a sudden?
Well, this isn't some far-off science fiction dream. It's happening right now, thanks to a whole suite of incredibly powerful new technologies. They're creating a kind of doctor's bag that we've never seen before.
And here's a little peek inside that new toolbox. Each one of these gives us a totally different, unbelievably powerful way to look at our own health. We can see things at the molecular level with liquid biopsies and genetic maps, see inside our anatomy with AI imaging, and even track our body's daily performance with digital biomarkers. Let's break them down one by one. First up is the liquid biopsy. And honestly, this is a total game changer. Just try to imagine a future where a routine blood draw, something you do every year, can pick up on the faintest molecular whispers of a cancer that's just starting to form, maybe years before traditional MRI or CT scan could ever spot it. And the impact of that, it's profound. Cancer's deadliest weapon has always been its ability to hide, to grow in the dark. By finding it at stage 0 or stage 1, when it's at its absolute weakest, we completely change the rules of the fight. We're stacking the deck in the patient's favor. Okay, next up we have AI-driven imaging. See, modern medical scans aren't just about getting a clearer picture anymore. Now it's about teaching powerful computers to see what we can't, to recognize the subtle, almost invisible patterns that tell us a health crisis might be coming down the road. And the stuff AI can find, it is absolutely staggering. We're talking about spotting tiny clusters of cancer cells that even a brilliant radiologist might miss, or identifying the faint buildup of plaque in an artery that predicts a heart attack, or even tracking tiny changes in the brain that could signal the very beginning of a disease like Alzheimer's. It's giving us a superpower, a way to see inside the body that was just impossible a decade ago. Then you've got digital biomarkers. And this is something you might be wearing on your wrist right now. That watch, that phone in your pocket, they're not just gadgets anymore. They are turning into incredibly sophisticated health monitors, constantly tracking things like your heart rate, your sleep patterns, even tiny changes in the way you walk. And here's the key shift. We're moving from a single snapshot of your health, that one picture taken at your annual checkup, to basically streaming a high-definition movie of your body's health, 24/7. And that constant stream of data can tip us off to a problem the very moment it starts. And finally, we have genetic risk maps. Now, let's be super clear about this. This isn't a crystal ball. It's not about telling you your unchangeable fate. It's about understanding your body's unique instruction manual, identifying where your personal vulnerabilities might be so you can start building up your defenses. It's all about possibilities, not destiny. So having all this amazing predictive power is incredible, but it also brings up a really big question. It's not enough to just hand someone a piece of data about their future. We have to think about the human side of all this. This is a question for every single one of us. If we can tell someone they have a high risk for a certain disease, what do we owe them next? Because information by itself, well, that can just create a lot of fear and anxiety. So what has to come along with it? The only real answer is a whole system of support. It has to mean easy access to preventive care. It has to mean real, practical help with nutrition and lifestyle. It absolutely has to include psychological and financial support. And maybe most important of all, it has to guarantee that there's a human being there to explain everything, to guide you, and to help you make a plan. I mean, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? The whole point isn't just to find a problem. The point is to heal and to stay healthy. Telling someone they're at risk without giving them the tools and the support to do something about it, well, that's a job half done. So, when you put all these pieces together, what does it all add up to? Well, it's way more than just a bunch of cool new technologies. It's a completely new blueprint for how we think about health and even how we live our lives. This image perfectly captures that final shift in thinking. For pretty much all of human history, medicine has been about the heroic act of saving lives during a crisis. The new medicine is about something different. It's about guarding those lives before a crisis can even begin. And this leads to a pretty powerful vision. The hospital of the future becomes a place you go to stay healthy, not just a place you end up when you're sick. Its whole purpose shifts. It becomes a center for creating health, not just managing disease. And that's really the ultimate takeaway here. For the first time in history, we are moving past the idea that our health is just a roll of the genetic dice. With all these new tools, our health is no longer just a matter of chance. It's becoming something we can actually and intelligently design.